Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another rant video, and I'm talking about why Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon are one of the best ongoing series ever. And it's not just with the anime, it starts with the games, the trading cards. Personally, I'm not a Pokemon player when it comes to trading cards, and I do love playing the video game. I'd be like through Gen 1 through 8, and hopefully there'll possibly be a Gen 9. So I wanna be able to compare the two. The issue with Pokemon, although it is a great show, it is fun watching the show, is that it doesn't really make sense because Ash, his journey is to become a Pokemon master, but he throughout every journey he doesn't really grow up. And then like he doesn't really he always tends to change Pokemon, which I don't mind 100% of the time. Like that's how he's able to introduce himself to new Pokemon and improve as a trainer, and you kind of expect more from him. But it's like ever since he goes on a new journey, it's like he always ends up being a beginner again. He goes from being experienced to a beginner, which seems very convoluted, especially him not growing up throughout those several series from 1997 till now. That's when the show started in Japan, and like in English started in 1998 for the dub. But it's like you kind of expect like Ash to become like more mature. That's the whole purpose of the show, is for him to mature when he gathers more Pokemon, and then so that he's a better chance of becoming a Pokemon master and winning the Pokemon League, which he has done in Pokemon Sun and Moon. But it just seems really odd to me, like because it just shows that they're trying to make him look really like show how low his IQ is, because he can't get out of that age gap. I know it's because, and the thing is, although like it is like catered towards younger kids, so that maybe the younger audience has a better chance of understanding it, and then that like parents will not feel offended when they make their kids watch the show, so they can kind of lessen the violence, so that the show they can be able to interact with their kids too. I think that's the whole purpose, and that's how they attract a lot of people too, because that's something that's supposed to cater towards adults and children. And for Yu-Gi-Oh, this show I think is definitely, as a show, it's better than Pokemon as a series. Simply, it may not because you have Yugi, or whatever you want to call him, a 10. Like, he's very cool. He's mature for his age, and you notice throughout every series that like they don't really, although it's called Yu-Gi-Oh, the show is called, it's called Yu-Gi-Oh, they always change the main character. Only difference is that, similar to Tai from Digimon, throughout every series or season, it's not always Tai that's the main character, but every new protagonist, it just looks similar to the old protagonist, and they have that pattern because like they wanted to they want to relate, but they wanted to build up they want to build up some like clues and hints that he's supposed to be the savior, that he is the hero that will help defeat the major problem, who will solve the major problem, defeat the bigger foes, the stronger enemies in the end, because that's something that the other main characters or the rivals and side characters will struggle against. And one thing I find the most interesting about Yu-Gi-Oh is that you'll notice every side character, some character that may possibly be lousy, or you just looks really boring, or just doesn't have really enough character. You'll notice how throughout Yu-Gi-Oh! Midway or near the end of the series, like there's some it catches you by surprise, because that villain tends to be like build a huge character where they actually go from good from a side character to actually a major or a huge villain later on, because it's basically a climax, and it catches you by surprise, because then that's where they go from the character making the character really boring, that doesn't really have any type of value, and then they become more valuable later once you find out how much they change later, their persona, their background, when you hear about their background story, and then that they have a bigger role later. And then let's get straight into the card games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Compared to Pokemon, I feel like I don't know if it's better, but it's more complicated. Like, although it's the best-selling card game from, and it was mentioned in July 7, 2009 as the top-selling trading card game because it was very competitive. That's what people prefer, is that they want the games to be very competitive. Like with Yu-Gi-Oh, like the issue I've known Yu-Gi-Oh throughout like my early childhood. So I can, because it wasn't very difficult at the time. It was very slow. It looked boring. It wasn't. It was not that boring, but it wasn't that fast. I think the issue with Yu-Gi-Oh is that you have to really put a lot of money, effort, and time to become a better duelist at like right now. Simply because it takes a lot of investing. You want to learn to become a better player, you gotta invest almost 80, 90, $100 into these rare cards that win turns, and then although may eventually get hit by the ban list. And that's where you have to be careful, because like it's unpredictable what's going on with a Pokemon. Like I personally, I don't really have a bond with the trading card games, and because I don't know too much of it, it just that's not challenging for me. I could be able to learn, like, to try and like get into the game, but that's something really, like, I can't really, it's not something I'm fond of, to be honest, because I don't think it's a fun game. It just seems boring, especially when I used to play the Pokemon trading card game on the Game Boy. I had no clue what I was doing, seriously, because like I said, I have no clue. Like, unless I had some more awareness, maybe I'd be able to understand. But I just don't care that much about the game, because for a lot of people, it is the issue I feel with the trading card game is that although it is attracting a lot of people, there's a lot of scalping going on with these Pokemon cards. They're being overpriced because of people like Logan Paul, famous YouTubers who do pack openings and try to hype the prices. And good thing I'm not into it, because if I were to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, competitive Pokemon, I'm sure I have to spend more money because I'm already playing like two trading card games right now. Like I already mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh and then Magic Gathering, so it's not worth investing into a third one where I might possibly end up being broke. And with that being said, is that like there are a lot of kids and adults who did, like, I think it's personally because like it's not as challenging for kids, and they can be able to interact with people like of different age groups, and it attracts people of different age groups because like just like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon, they cater towards all ages, and you have a choice between the two, which one you think is better or which would you rather get into. And I'm gonna go straight into the video games. I'd have to say for like Pokemon, it definitely is already succeeds. It's better than Yu-Gi-Oh when it comes to when games being developed. So because they have like a video game almost every single year, while Yu-Gi-Oh does take some time. And I think although we're not going to include duel links because we're going to talk about consoles, so Yu-Gi-Oh does not really have games where every single year. It does take some time because it's more like whether this game will sell. That's what Konami's trying to figure out. While Nintendo, they realize Pokemon can sell the video games because people are always expecting there to be a new game and then for it to be more evolved. Unlike Ash, because he's still 10 years old. The thing with Pokemon is that the games are always going to build a lot of hype. They're always going to make more money. That's where in comparison to Yu-Gi-Oh is that Pokemon like excels Yu-Gi-Oh when it comes to video games. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh, it does take time whether they decide if they're going to make a video game, and then the thing with the Yu-Gi-Oh is that when it comes to the trading game and the video game, they always have to ensure that like that it has to do with the mechanics, that like the new mechanics and the old mechanics. So because that's where the difficulty starts. The players don't understand like the mechanics, how they work, because it's eventually it will give them some type of knowledge. It will kind of teach them like from step 1, 2, 3 how they need to be able to excel in the game, how they have a better understanding, and then there is tutorials too. So just like there's Pokemon for beginners. And Pokemon, well, the thing with Pokemon is that I always sell more than Yu-Gi-Oh when it comes to video games. But then the thing with Yu-Gi-Oh is I always sell and make more money off of trading card games compared to Pokemon, and then that that's where in between those two is that they are, although they are awesome series, and then they continue to grow, and and why they're ongoing is that is why they won't be canceled, because they just attract a lot of people, and it's really hard to say no, because it is catering it is attracting a lot of people, and then more people interact and then learn from each other, and it builds a community, and they have a huge community behind them, and then the communities do develop, do grow a bond, just like how in the show they grow a bond with the characters in both Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. And I'm gonna end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed my rant video and expect more. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.